So here we are again. The last time we were here, I said how tired I was of talking about this subject. Not bored tired, emotionally drained tired. I also said I knew I'd have to talk about it again. And so here we are again. Last night, as the children of the DMV were winding up their Halloween fun, one of them, 14-year-old Antoine Manning, was killed in a shooting in Southeast DC. An investigation into the tragedy has commenced, but as of now, there are no leads, no possible suspects. It's unknown why he was targeted or if even he was the target, but what is known is that a boy who should be thinking about school quizzes and holiday dances is dead, and another family is left to pick up the pieces. Then early this morning, 28-year-old Kirsnick Kari Ball, better known as Takeoff, a member of the platinum-selling hip-hop group The Migos, was shot and killed while attending a private party at a Houston bowling alley. Details are limited at this time. A group of partygoers were gathered on a balcony outside of the establishment, and somebody started shooting. The investigation of the tragedy has commenced, but as of now, there have been no arrests, and it's unknown why he was targeted or even if he was the target. What is known is that a young man who had the world by the tail is dead, and another family is left to pick up the pieces, while the rest of us are left with this reality that we've chosen to live in. Now, you may hear talk over the next few days about one or both of these tragedies. In the case of the young man in DC, you may hear something along the lines of the community having to come together to prevent things like this from happening in the future. In the case of Takeoff shootings, you may hear people say backhanded things like, why was he even over there? Or where was his security? Or he should have known better. Questions will be asked about the culture that both of these victims were raised in. But what you won't hear is, we need to do something about these guns. Very few to nobody is mentioning that. And just so we're clear, the culture that this boy and young man came from didn't create this nightmare. America itself did. And we're all victims of it. I've said before, we're the only country on earth where this happens with this kind of frequency. And why is that? Well, first, because we have the most guns, and we have no compunction against using them. If anything, we have a long history of glorifying them. I mean, I might be saddened a bit in the aftermath, but not enough to institute meaningful gun control legislation. Not even when it's our babies that are dying. Oh, wait a minute. There it is, plain as day. It's our babies that are dying, not those in power who choose to do nothing. Because you better believe if those protecting the gun lobby had to live under the constant threat like many on the other side of the river, gun reform will be passed yesterday. If those protecting the gun lobby had to eulogize members of their community every week or include bulletproof backpacks as part of their child's back-to-school shopping, gun reform would be passed yesterday. Gun violence doesn't affect them because gun violence doesn't affect them. So it's left to us. And if we can't do anything about the guns, we have to do something about the people who can. Remember this pain, remember this anger, and vote.